Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and in today's video I'm going to give you guys a bit of my thoughts on the Crucible League, as a lot of people have been asking me, what's up, where's Grimro? What's he think about the Crucible League here? Is he around anywhere? Has anyone seen him? Well, here he is, dude, he's here. We're going to be talking about the Crucible League today, and we're going to be doing a bit of a review and a bit of a discussion about the Crucible League, and perhaps why Grimro hasn't had as much content on this league as usual. So first off, let's start on a high note. The Crucible League itself, an absolute banger of a league for build enthusiasts and people who love to make super powerful items. In this league, it is possible to make never before played builds. We got stuff like the Giga Chad special shield throw build here, dude. One which is able to absolutely mince all content in the game, but the catch is you need an incredibly rare shield with exactly the right Crucible trait. And in order to get it, you're gonna have to forge that shield base in Crucible. Then you're gonna have to take that base, use chance orbs on it again and again and again and again and again, hopefully avoiding getting RSI while you're doing it. And then you're gonna get the shield you need for that ultra powerful special shield throw build. And that's one of the new builds that you can play. There is also super duper affordable budget meta defining builds like the new exploding totem build. Oh man, that looks pretty cool. And then you can link that exploding totem build with traps and make it even more insane. Very, very exciting. We've got the new Abyss uniques which got reworked, and people are making auto bombers with the new light poacher and all sorts of stuff like that. There is a ton on the table for build enthusiasts, but it doesn't stop there. If you're someone who's interested in crafting the strongest items of all time, Crucible's got you covered there as well. You can literally make the strongest weapons and shields of all time, and people are doing that. They're making the craziest bows, the craziest spellcaster items I have ever seen. Literally, the Blade Vortex bow that was posted on Reddit, whew, oh my god, my goodness, that is something else, man. On another level, and it is pretty badass. And if you want to go up and farm a mirror for that, oh man, that's gonna be pretty big fun. Pretty good there. So overall, they got you covered. Build diversity. You got new builds. You've got increases in power to your fan favorites, stuff like Toxic Rain, all sorts of stuff like that, new toys, new damage, all that stuff like that. Good stuff. You got insane crafting potential, overall insane. All right, so where you been then, Grim? Why have you not been posting? Why aren't you getting the juice in this Crucible League? Well, I want to draw your memories back to a different time, a time in which a league was released called the Synthesis League. And it had many of the features and many of the components that we see on the Crucible League here. Now, anecdotally, a bit of a story time here. I've actually only missed one league since I've started playing Path of Exile seriously. Now, I really got my start in Legacy League. I played some time before that, but Legacy League is when I really kicked off. I've only missed one league, and that was the Delirium League. And that was because I was like working real hard full time at, the corporate grind, but there was another league, cast your memory back, the Synthesis League. Ooh. So I have pretty much grinded a Headhunter or a Mageblood every single league. Every single one, man, with the exception of Delirium and one other. Now, before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about the Synthesis League. The Synthesis League is gone down as one of the greats, one of the best leagues of all time. That league introduced synthesized bases, the synthesizer, fractured bases, brand new endgame bosses, the memory cortex, all sorts of stuff like that. And it was incredible. It had so much potential. It was so cool. But you know what it didn't have on the first month? It didn't have a whole lot of farming opportunities for players to get raw currency or any of the normal juice from them. And overall, that is what I like to do best. Now, if you're wondering, there might be a league where I did not get a Headhunter or a Mageblood. One where I kind of faded into the darkness a little early. Do you know what league that was? one that was very similar to the Crucible League. It was actually Synthesis League. Now, Synthesis, as I mentioned, has gone down as one of the greats, and we still see it in the game now, and I love the way it was implemented. I often use synthesized bases, and I often do the bosses and use all the uniques from them. You know, Synthesis had the synthesized bases, Crucible has the Crucible trees. You know, you could make the best weapons of all time over here. But both of the leagues are kind of missing something fundamental, which really makes PoE snap for me, and that is some addictive farming content with a bit of a mystery mark, a bit of an X factor. Now, one league which absolutely nailed this for me was the Sentinel League. You could sit down and you could do 100 maps with all of the different Sentinels, and you could seriously dig in, sink your teeth into some currency min-maxing, man. You could whip out that bad boy spreadsheet, bro. Holy moly. And you could go ahead and you could calculate the weights of the drops. You could do all sorts of stuff like that. And you can go ahead and do that. It was so much fun, man. And I absolutely had a blast. And when you see leagues like that, you will notice that the old Grimro here can't help but post a machine gunner videos about the league mechanic. Now, obviously, I drew a comparison here between Crucible League and the Synthesis League. The Synthesis League is the one league I checked out early from. It is the league, one of the only leagues which I did not farm one of the premier belts, and Crucible League, as you can see, is following suit here. Leagues which are focused, hyper-focused on rare items, endgame crafting, and all sorts of stuff like that, which is incredibly fun and incredibly appealing to many, many players. It just doesn't seem that, it just doesn't get my juices going, man. But that's just fine. And it's actually really, really good that we have these different leagues for different people. And I think it's really, really important. Now, overall, I'd love to see Crucible go core, and I'd love to see all of the juice that goes along with that. And you might be thinking, you know, Grimro, you know, you could get in there, man. You could farm up the bases. You could, you know, put them in a one divine dump tab. And, you know, we've explored that. And I had an absolute blast exploring the possibilities there. You know, you got stuff like the divine printer, the duplication, all sorts of stuff like that. You know, oh man, that is badass. But it just doesn't get my personal juices going. I can't really put that in a 100 map test spreadsheet. You know, we already know all of the weights of all of the modifiers. You know, it's already kind of like figured out, I suppose, to some extent. We figured it out pretty quick. You know, we knew exactly how rare the divine orb, the chaos orb, all of them were. You know, there wasn't really too many questions to answer. So Grimro felt a little bit like a hammer without any nails, man. And you know, you never want to be a hammer without any nails. Now, you guys know me, dude. I always keep it real. Hella real, man. I'm always straight up with you guys. And for me, at least, you know, if I don't really feel like I have any content to make, dude, you know, oh boy, you know, I'm probably just, you know, I'm probably just not going to make any content. You know, I think that this is really, it's a lifestyle of passion for me. And when you're signing up for a Grimro video, you better believe Grimro's doing that, because he is absolutely amped to do that video. That is going to be the vibe. Now, overall, I actually do fully expect Crucible to go down as one of the greats, and I think that there is a lot to explore in terms of everything that's going on there. There's just not a whole lot of new and fresh currency stuff. Now, there's, of course, a bit of a mix-up here with some of the stuff going on here. You know, I have been looking into it. Don't you doubt me, dude. I've had my eye on these things. We've obviously got the Abyss here. I actually tested out Abyss, and it was actually pretty interesting. The changes are very, very good indeed. Pretty happy with the changes to Abyss. They've made the uniques far more powerful. They do actually retain a little bit of value there. I actually farmed up quite a lot of Abyss on day 2. I was going to make a video on it, but the reason I didn't is that it's just not really a competitive farming strategy which you can distribute to many, many people. You know, it's not Legion, it's not Delirium Orbs, it's not something that everyone can do and beat it into submission, and, you know, everyone can get on Expedition and absolutely just smash it and keep smashing it, and the economy will be fine with it. That's not Abyss. If everyone goes ahead and does Abyss, you know, the Stygian Vices will be 1C. The uniques will tank. You know, the Abyss Scarabs will be insanely expensive. You know, that's not really something I could make a video on now. You know, we could have made a fun video, I suppose. Maybe I should have. You know, talking about the Abyss and all the changes and stuff like that. I could have done that. You know, overall I decided against it because I just didn't know if it was going to be that useful, man. So I did test out Abyss, that was pretty badass. Breach also, it's seen some pretty major reworks there. There's a lot of potential there. They've definitely made the mechanic a little bit harder, I think. There's definitely a lot more scaling potential. On the low end, it's a little bit less rewarding for sure, but on the high end, it seems like there's definitely quite a lot of potential there with Magic Find. But people who know the Grimro, people who are familiar with the channel, know that Grimro isn't the biggest fan of Magic Find. Unlucky. But you can obviously do some shenanigans with increased item quantity, with Eldritch Altars, and all sorts of stuff like that. But, I think to get the most out of Breach, you might want to look into that Magic Find angle. But, overall, you can do that. You can go with the blue altars, you can go with the quantity, and, that is definitely an option there as well. I might look into that next league, and I might explore that as well, when we're really getting the juices going. The last one here, honorary mention, is Bestiary, who didn't really necessarily see a rework, but it saw a massive increase in demand of its materials, and overall, they are flying off the shelf, man. Those Kraken Chimeras and those Split Beasts, oh boy, they are popular. In addition to that, they also made their Bestiary mechanic a lot more viable to run. You can actually remove those beasts now. Fantastic. Very, very good indeed. And overall, that's definitely something I'm going to want to experiment with in the future. But overall, what's the message? Okay, where was Grimro? How come he's not making videos anymore? Well, as I've mentioned, the Crucible League, similar to the Synthesis League, it just doesn't get my juices flowing, man. And Grimro is always true to his word. He's always going to make content he's passionate about. That's never going to change. Even if you see Grimro playing something else, that's completely fine. It's because he's passionate about it, and he's going to go where the passion leads him. He wants to log in, he wants to make some spreadsheets, and he's going to do so no matter whatever else is going. The world could be absolutely melting down. It could be a nuclear war, and I'm going to be here making my spreadsheets, man. You better believe it, and I'm going to be having a blast doing it. All the time, dude. All right, so what is next for the league, though? So I'm absolutely amped for the Exile Con announcement. I will be attending, believe it or not. Just because I'm not playing this specific league long term doesn't mean I'm not absolutely jazzed for the prospect of PoE coming up. We're going to be on Exile Con. Oh boy, it's going to be a blast. We're going to be checking out some PoE 2. We're going to be checking out all sorts of stuff like that. And we have heard, they've teased it, the next league is going to be a big one. Surely this is the big one. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the big one. So I'm pretty hyped for that. But in the short term, if you want to see more from the Grimro, I will actually be playing the new Torchlight Infinite season. I absolutely had a blast with the last two, and they kind of knocked my socks off, if I'm going to be honest. I was checking out the new one, the Cube of Rapacity, and oh boy. Oh man, there's some pretty insane stuff going on there. So if you're interested in a little bit of Torchlight content, I'll probably be making some content on that. Might even post a video right after this. We're gonna be checking that out. It's pretty cool. As always though, dude, videos of passion. That's all I'm gonna do. If you're seeing a video from me, dude, you absolutely know I'm doing it because I want to do it. And that is gonna be kind of the overall message here. So if you're ever wondering, where is Grimro? Why is he not making the content? Or why is Grimro making so many videos, dude? That's so weird. It's because the passion levels are either at an all-time high, or maybe the feelers are kind of just feeling a little bit low at that time. So yeah, gonna be checking out some Torchlight, dude. Holy moly, it actually looks so insane, man. I'm gonna be gambling on some cubes. If you want to follow me on over there, I'm probably gonna make a video or two there on the channel. But I'm gonna have a blast. I'm gonna be doing some of that, and I'm gonna be juicing it up over there, and checking out the league. So if you want to be interested in that, you can check out the content. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little bit of an update here. Sorry I'm not making as many videos on PoE this time around, but I think it's really important to stay authentic and stick true to how you feel. And of course, until next time, in the future, cheers.